Okay. I just realized that there's a giant moth in the house. So I apologize if I am kind of distracted during this video. Oh, I hate moths. Today's video is about something I'm sure a lot of you would like to know about. A lot of you moms with a lot of weird hair going on. I apologize. I am entering the postpartum hair loss stage, and this is my reality right now. So yeah, just gonna be rocking the baby bird look in this video. Anyway, oh, this looks so stupid. Just ignore my hair. Yeah, so today's video is about sleep, and that's not something you get very much of in the first couple months of being a mom. Newborns spend a lot of time sleeping, but they do wake up a lot to eat. And as you start moving into the 2-3 month mark, they start to be awake a lot more in the day, and you have to be a little more mindful about putting them down for naps every day and putting them down at a consistent time at night. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my tips and tricks and things that I do to get my daughter Maven to go down to bed for naps and at night. She sleeps through the night now. She sleeps about 8 to 10 hours, and it's really nice. I love it. But the issue is usually getting her to sleep. So I'm going to share some of my tricks with you guys. And just a disclaimer, these are tricks to use when you are desperate. These aren't necessarily super good habits. They are just things that I do to get her to sleep. I am not one of those moms that, you know, does everything by the book. I just do what works because, you know, I need my sanity. So here are some of my tips and tricks to get your baby to sleep when you are desperate. Also, Maven is currently in her swing and making lots of noises. So yeah, just ignore those noises. So something that Maven and I do a lot is we nurse lying down. I'm pretty sure that Maven has reflux, and she gets super squirmy and super fussy when she nurses. So it's not often that she actually falls asleep when she's nursing. She's usually very restless and just kind of stays on to eat and then doesn't really want to, you know, hang out any further. So the only way I've found that really works to avoid the fussiness and the restlessness is to nurse her laying sideways. A lot of the time she'll just fall asleep that way, and then I can just pick her up and put her in her crib. And I know it's not the best habit to get into, like putting them to sleep and then putting them in their crib, but that's just what I do, and I'm sure a lot of people do too. I don't go by the book, I just do what works. Also, another thing we do every single night before bed, and sometimes before her naps, is we give her a bottle. Now usually I just nurse her, but I've found that she falls asleep much better to a bottle. I can get more milk in her, and I can feed her better while she's dozing off and going to sleep. Usually we'll feed her the first like 3/4 of her bottle just normally like on our bed or something, and then we'll take her, put her into her crib, and feed her the last ounce or so while she's in her crib, and it puts her right to sleep for the night, and I don't have to worry about it after that. She just goes right to sleep. And yeah, not the best habit, but it works, and we've been doing it every night and we've had no issues. So another thing we use since about 1 month, we've been using a white noise machine called Dome or Dom or something, and we actually put it right into her crib. Also probably not safe. I don't know. It's not like crickets or anything or those like fun noises you can get on those iPhone apps, but it's just your classic white noise, and it's actually really nice because it blocks out any noise that we're making downstairs, so we can be as loud as we want while she's sleeping and it doesn't wake her up. Another thing that I tried that I do sometimes is if she is completely fed, dry diaper, happy, full, I put her in her crib and I just stand next to her and I hold her hand and pop a soother in, and just let her fall asleep. And I hold her hand and sometimes like rub her fingers, and I think she just really likes to know that I'm still in the room and I'm not just gonna leave her. Hi, do you want to say hi to the camera? Yeah? But yeah, I'll just hold her hand and she'll doze right off to sleep, and then I can just leave her. We try really hard to get her to play and tire herself out. So I'll give her lots of time on her play mat and lots of time doing tummy time. I just really try to tire her out before her naps so that she's actually tired and we're not like forcing her to sleep. It really helps her to sleep well and to sleep long, because sometimes I'll only get like a 15, 20, maybe 30-minute nap out of her if she's not actually genuinely tired. But when she's tuckered out, she can sleep for a couple hours. A couple weeks ago, we had a hard time getting her to bed, so we decided we would just give her a bath because, you know, she smelled cheesy anyway. So we gave her a bath, and that relaxed her big time. We put her in her crib, gave her her bottle. She didn't even finish her bottle, and she was just out. And I think she slept for like 8 or 9 hours that night, and yeah, we do that pretty frequently. I don't know that this is safe, but I do it supervised. We just moved into a new apartment and we have not had time to purchase blackout blinds because we have a lot of natural light coming in. So sometimes if she's really not going to sleep because it's too bright, we will lay a blanket kind of across the top of her crib and we'll stretch it down and tuck it under the mattress. And we'll just put that over like half of the crib, just enough to block out the light, and most of the time she'll fall asleep. Usually when she's asleep, I'll take it off so it doesn't fall on her, because that would be really bad. But yeah, that's just kind of what I do when I'm desperate and she's really not falling asleep. Here in Canada, we have really long days in the summer. The sun rises at like 5 a.m. and goes down at like 11 p.m. So yeah, sometimes you just gotta do it. One thing that has worked since the very beginning is we'll feed Maven and we'll put her in her bassinet or crib. And this was mostly the case when Maven was more fresh because she didn't really have a bedtime. She just went to bed when we did. But when my husband and I were both in the room, we would just talk, you know, casual, how was your day kind of talk. And I think her hearing us just talk put her right to sleep because she knew that we were in the room, we weren't gonna leave her, and she just falls asleep really well when there's noise around, so that always works. So as for what she wears to bed, it can get pretty cold here in Canada, but it is the summer right now, so it's not too bad. But we always find that she sleeps better when she is warm. We try not to overheat her, but we do dress her in a few layers. We give her a onesie, and then her pajamas, and then on top of that, we were giving her a swaddle. We transitioned out of the swaddle and kind of just like wrapped it under her arms, like the Velcro swaddles. And we just got rid of those because they're getting too small, but we just graduated up to a sleep sack. And she really likes that. We used it for the first time a couple nights ago and she just loves it. Like I was saying about the whole lots of sunlight and long days in Canada, especially Alberta where I live, the sun rises by like 4:30 or 5 in the morning sometimes, and that is an issue because I don't want to wake up that early. And if there's light in the room, she wakes up and she's ready to play. So when she wakes up around 5 a.m., I take her into bed with me and I nurse her laying down, and it puts her right back to sleep, and I don't move her because that's dangerous. She wakes up and then she's ready to go for the day, and I am not ready for that because I go to bed at like midnight. So I let her cuddle me in the morning, and to be honest, I really like it. I like having her little cuddles in the morning. One thing that's really important is having a consistent day and night schedule, so going to bed at the same time and taking naps around the same time every day. So we've been really good about getting Maven to bed at about 9 to 9:30 every night. We're trying to slowly transition her earlier, but we've been super bad about naps in the day. Sometimes she'll, you know, fall asleep when I'm not expecting it, and then I don't want to move her because I know she's gonna wake up. And then I try to be more mindful about putting her down, but because she took a nap earlier, and I don't know, it's just different every day. I can't seem to really find a super consistent schedule, but that's something I've been working on, and some of these tricks really help with that. But if you can get your baby on a consistent schedule, they won't fight sleep as much because they'll know, oh, okay, you know, it's 2 p.m. This is when I normally take my nap. I'm on this like internal clock. This feels normal. I feel safe. I do this every day. I'll just go to sleep and wake up, and I know what's gonna happen. So they go down a lot easier. Whereas if you're on a different schedule every day and putting them down at different times, they don't know what's going on. They don't know why they're in their crib or what's happening, why you're leaving them. It's very confusing for them. We're breaking that cycle right now. It's really hard, but yeah, try your best to do that. The one thing she really, really likes is her swing. This has been the culprit of not being able to get on a good daytime schedule. So it's kind of a love-hate relationship right now because she loves it and she sleeps really well in it. I know I'm not really supposed to let her sleep in it, but I do because she falls asleep in it so easily. But because she falls asleep in it so easily, sometimes I just let her sleep there and then I don't get her in her crib. So it's really all my fault. I need to just ditch the swing soon and figure out this nap time schedule. Seriously, it's not a good time right now. One thing that's very important when you're trying to put your baby to sleep is don't get them excited. Don't get them riled up. Don't interact with them really. You know, just change their diaper, feed them, put them in their jammies, put them in their bed, and leave it at that. Don't make a big ordeal, just kind of do the routine, and don't like get them laughing, don't get them smiling, don't talk to them. And I know it's so tempting because I do that all the time, but it always works so much better when we don't interact and we just put them to bed because they're usually much more relaxed and they can fall asleep much easier. Another thing that Maven loves is soft, warm blankets. Sometimes my mom will come over and watch Maven while I get some things done, and my mom likes to hold Maven when she naps. I obviously can't do that because I have lots of stuff to do, but my mom likes to hold her when she naps, which I don't mind. And she'll just wrap her up in a nice cozy blanket. She really likes this. Oh, sorry, the exposure is really high. She really likes this blanket. It's actually from Dollarama, and it's her favorite. It is so soft, so light, and she doesn't overheat in it, but it's super cozy and small. So we usually put her in her car seat with this. But anyway, she loves it and just falls asleep with her soother. She loves all of that. Anyway, those are really all the tips that I can think of off the top of my head today. Obviously, I feel like sleep is always a work in progress, and these are really just things that I use when I just can't get her to sleep. But yeah, I hope some of these tips were helpful for you guys. And if you have any tips for me, please comment them down below. I could really use the tips as well. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Comment down below if you have any questions. I would love to answer them. But yeah, thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe for more videos.